I get $1,000 and a bar of chocolate? Things just keep getting better. Hi everyone. Today I have a delectable story to tell. A story of hope, success, and gluttony. The story of how I won $1,000 from a bar of chocolate. And a couple of other stories on the side too. It was a day just like any other day. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and I had a hankering for some snacks. I was staying over at my sister's place for a few nights, so I suggested we go grocery shopping as her pantry was severely lacking in the snack department. So, we wandered over to our local Woolworths and began to peruse their wares. Obviously, we went to the snack aisle, because that's where the snacks are, believe it or not, where we were then faced with a giant wall of Cadbury chocolate blocks. I knew exactly what I wanted. 2 of the big size blocks of chocolate. For both of us to share over the weekend, obviously, and definitely not just for myself. I went to grab the chocolate when I noticed a promotional label on the front. It said, "Find the golden ticket and win $1,000. Just like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. But now I couldn't just grab any old block of chocolate. I had to make sure I had the one. My sister went off to go pick up a couple of other things, but I literally stood there the entire time we were shopping, trying to decide which blocks of chocolate had the best vibes. I finally picked out the 2 that I wanted and bought them. We headed home and put away our groceries. Of course, I immediately went to open one of my chocolate blocks for both snack and gambling purposes. I slowly peeled back the wrapper to reveal the front of the block. Nothing. Of course, if the ticket was on the front, it'd be too easy to find. So I slowly turned the block over and... nothing. I checked the packet inside out and found no golden ticket. However, that wasn't really a problem, as I was still left with a big block of chocolate ready to be eaten. My sister convinced me not to open the other block until I had finished the already opened one, and instead we should go for a walk. So off we went again, but I couldn't stop thinking about what could be in the other chocolate bar. It was a beautiful day and the temperature was perfect, but I just couldn't shake the feeling that something special was waiting for me when I opened the second block. Some might call it fate. Some might call it a gambling addiction, but when I got home, I knew what I had to do. I went over to the fridge. Chocolate belongs in the fridge, by the way. Took out the unopened block and flipped it over. I had experience now. I knew where the ticket would be. I slowly peeled back the wrapper when suddenly I saw something shiny. Could it be? I quickly ripped off the plastic and there it was! The golden ticket! I couldn't believe my eyes! I was rich I tell you! We both got very excited and quickly claimed the prize through the Cadbury website. Here's a picture of the ticket, by the way, in case you thought I was lying. Within a few weeks, the money was deposited into my account and I was ballin'. I could go on a shopping spree, buy video games, or even wail on Genshin Impact. But at the time, I was living at my university student residence and my mum was helping me out by paying for half my rent during the pandemic. So when she heard that I had won an extra $1,000, she suggested I use it towards rent so she wouldn't need to help me out for that payment. I was so sad, but I knew it was the responsible thing to do. So I spent the money on rent. Bye-bye, $1,000. I'll miss you. But that's not the only time I've won something from a Cadbury's chocolate bar. Later that same year, they had another promotion where the blocks of chocolate had letters stamped onto each of the pieces. And if you found a 4-letter word, you'd win another block of chocolate. For the fun of it, I bought a smaller block just to see what it was all about. I opened the block and I found the word love. How sweet. I don't think I ended up claiming my second block of chocolate though. I got too nervous. My last story comes from way back when I was 10 years old. For those who aren't Australian, there's a kids magazine called Total Girl that's been running since 2002. I believe it's still going as well, which is crazy. But in these magazines, they'd always have competitions to win toys and other prizes. We used to buy these magazines quite often, and in one of the volumes, there was a competition to win a massive Littlest Pet Shop playset. All you had to do was write a letter telling them why you should win, and they'd pick the best answer and send the prize your way. So, my sister wrote a heartfelt letter and sent it off to Total Girl HQ. About a month later, a huge parcel shows up on our doorstep addressed to my sister. Our mum was so confused because we didn't used to do any shopping online, so who could have sent this massive parcel to us? Specifically, my sister. We open it and inside was the LPS playset from the competition. That was the best freaking day of our lives, I'll tell you what. But I had to know what my sister wrote in that letter to get us the win. She said she wrote a letter about how living in an apartment meant that she wasn't allowed to have a pet, and that if she won the playset, then she'd be able to feel the joy that only a pet could bring. We lived on a hobby farm with animals, by the way. She straight up lied. How could she do that? A child? Lying? It's unheard of. But we did win a cool playset though. I'll let it slide this time. So have you guys ever won a competition? Or have you lost a competition? Share your story in the comments below. Also, sorry for taking a short break these past 2 weeks. I've been quite unwell, but I'm finally back on my feet and feeling a lot better. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!